There was a girl named Phoebe who lived out on the prairie back when people were moving west and planting and farming and really exploring. Well, Phoebe's farm with her parents and her family was a couple of miles from town, so they didn't often go into town. When they did, it was a very special occasion. One day, they got word that there was going to be a big party in town just to have fun, a big social event. So everyone got out their best clothes. Now, girls back then wore these big, fluffy skirts underneath their skirts called a petticoat. And it keeps their dresses really poofed out and big and fancy. That was the fashion back then. Well, Phoebe put on her petticoat and they sang, Phoebe in her petticoat, Phoebe in her gown, Phoebe in her petticoat, going down to town. Well, Phoebe was very popular because she was kind and nice and she was included everybody and she was thoughtful, so people loved to be around her. So they were really excited, people in town, hoping that Phoebe would come to town. So the night came, they got all dressed up, and even her family would sing that song about her. Phoebe in her petticoat, Phoebe in her gown, Phoebe in her petticoat, going down to town. Well, people in town were gathering at the big dance hall and eating punch, drinking punch and eating cake and dancing and having a great time. And somebody looked out the window and far, far away they could see Phoebe coming. And they all started to sing, Phoebe in her petticoat, Phoebe in her gown, Phoebe in her petticoat, going down to town. The closer she got, the more they sang, the more they were excited because they really enjoyed being around her. Phoebe in her petticoat, Phoebe in her gown, Phoebe in her petticoat, going down to town. Well, everyone had a great time that night. They had like a hoedown and they played instruments and they danced and they sang and they had a wonderful time. Now, all the way home, they were singing songs from that evening and even singing songs they'd learned before. But one song that kept coming back was Phoebe in her petticoat, Phoebe in her gown, Phoebe in her petticoat, going down to town.